Hello my friends, Jim Messina here from Vintage Drums Talk. I'm here with Tim Northup from the Northup Drums Museum in Oneonta, New York. We both have something really special to show you. We want to welcome you to the Northup Sessions, okay? We're going to take a look at the vintage drums that Tim has amassed into a great museum. Stick around because we've got a lot to show you. Tim, good to see you.
Great to be here, Jim.
We'll be right back.
Hi, Jim. Welcome back to the Northup Drums Museum. I'm Tim Northup, your host. Today, we're going to talk about painted drum heads, and then we're going to go into the fun room back here after that has all the traps, sound effects, whistles, all the gadgets. But we're going to lead up to that by talking about why they needed those. So here's a nice example of a Wahlberg and Auger original white marine pearl with a matching snare drum, with a trap table, with temple blocks, and a drummer would have filled this table with all the traps that we're going to talk about back there for silent films or vaudeville, any kind of theater production like that. And then they dressed it up with a beautiful hand-painted head. We have the spiderweb girl here from Leedy. We have the Leedy silhouette. This is one of my favorites. This one is a very unusual silhouette. I have the other one too that's kind of hidden back there behind this really great snare drum, but there's another version of the silhouette that's beautiful with the moon. Just back up a little bit earlier than that, this is really cool. We have a Leedy overhang pedal. So that's something you're not going to see in many collections. And here in the Northup Drums Museum, we actually have two of those, but you can come and you can play this very old kit with original early Wahlberg and Auger China tom holders, real early Leedy snare, China cymbal. And this poster I love because Vic first put this out. It's called A Century of Drumming Evolution that he did with Daniel Glass. And it says 1865 to 1965. And if you look at this poster, it's wonderful because you see a lot of the same things in this poster that are right here in this museum that you can come and actually touch, play, look at, get up close to. As some of the wonderful things in this showcase right here, we have a Gene Krupa trophy from the 1941 swing contest. That's the original trophy that was given to the second place winner. Photo of Gene with Joe Rayner, who was actually the second place winner. Louis Belson won that contest, and we have all the documentation, all the paperwork from Slingerland in this binder. And then if you pan down this case, we have a Slingerland Black Beauty, number 16, Ludwig Black Beauty. We have this is the 100th anniversary Ludwig Black Beauty, John Aldridge Black Beauty for Ludwig. And then we have other, there's a Leedy Black Beauty here, and other unusual snare drums in this case. And then we go back to a beautiful, another Ludwig Millstream drum set, complete with trap table, temple blocks, China tom, hi-hat. Here's one of the owner before me framed this Leedy head because it was damaged on the drum, so he had it taken off the flesh hoop and actually framed it. This is the Venetian Boatman, which is a very, very rare head. There's only a few of those out there that we know of. So, but back to some of this stuff here. We've got some early snares, and we've got, I'm going to go through a progression here. Here's a Ludwig snowshoe pedal. The very first hi-hat, basically, or offbeat. And then after that came the low boy, and Slingerland had their version of the low boy, which was the Slingerland Duncan pedal, which is a very cool thing. We have a couple of these here in the museum that you could play, look at, whatever. So I guess at this point, here we go. We're going into the fun room. We're going into where all the bells and whistles are. So follow me. We're going to talk about some trap kits in here first. So this kit right here is one of my favorites. This is a Leedy from 1936, and how we know that is I have a photograph of the gentleman the day he got it standing behind this kit. And everything, I have the invoice for it, and everything that he bought with this kit is here, and then I've added a few Chinese toms. But all the stuff that he bought with it originally is here, and his family even wrote a book about this set, telling where he played it. And he actually opened this kit, opened for Artie Shaw playing this drum kit in the 1940s. So that was like opening for Elvis Presley or the Beatles. So that was like a really big deal. So that's one of the rarities here at the Northup Drums Museum. We have beautiful Ludwig painted heads here, a Leedy head. Here's a nice little Wahlberg and Auger. All the early accoutrements for a trap table. We've got a squawker, a ratchet, early pedal, early Chinese tom holders, a China cymbal. And then we're going to get to the fun stuff. We're going to go to the trap case. So this is all the bells and whistles and all the fun stuff to make all the sound effects for vaudeville silent films. We've got slide whistles, cowbells, train whistles, all kinds of stuff. Sand blocks, ratchets. This ratchet is my favorite ratchet. It's just really loud. We've got train whistles, all kinds of cowbells, and one of my favorite things we have here at the museum is a whole selection of hand cymbals and cymbals that mount on bass drums. And this is my forte. I'm going to be doing a whole segment on this, but we have all kinds of box, Gladstone cymbals, that Chick Webb used, that same type. And then we've got all kinds of cymbals that actually mount on a bass drum. And some of you have seen some of the demonstrations I've done on that. And then, I know, Jim, this is one of your favorite items that the museum owns. It's a very rare duplex afterbeat. And I think right now we know of, maybe there's only around 3 of these known in the world. And one of them lives here, very happily, in this museum. So, we've got that, low boys, early pedals. This is a great little trap kit here with a bird's eye maple wood block, cowbell set, Chinese toms, and this is a typical set that you would have in the 1920s and 30s. This would have been your setup: 2 cymbals, 2 Chinese toms, a cowbell rig, wood block, a little snare, and a hi-hat probably. Not to mention, in the case, all of the Ludwig and Slingerland and early pedals I have here. So that's basically a quick tour of the Northup Drums Museum. This is just a little quick tour of what you can expect to see when you visit here. So please come visit. Back to you, Jim. Thanks. Have a great day.
Everybody, as I promised, we've got some stuff to show you from the Northup Sessions. Welcome back. It's going to be a great time. I'm sitting here with Tim Northup. Tim, so good to have you back.
Hey, Jim.
Like I said before, you are the man, and I'm so glad to have you down here in my studio with
Great
me.
to be here.
Everybody, he's from Oneonta, New York. He's got the great museum that you've seen in some of the videos I've already shown you. So we're going to get right into the meat of things. Tim, why don't you show us what we've got up on the screen here?
So on the screen, we're going to do a virtual tour here of the Drum Museum, and this is the Ludwig and Ludwig Moose Kit. Now, it's my favorite painted head. As you know, I collect painted heads. This is my favorite.
All right.
So we have something familiar to you in this picture.
This is what I love. I'm telling you, a lot of you may not know that over 90% of my very valuable and cherished collection went to Tim Northup. A lot of people didn't know that, but yes, it's in very capable hands, and this is a good example right here. In this picture, we've got the Ludwig and Ludwig 1927.
We'll go back.
There you go.
There it is.
Ha ha! Here it is. They call it it's a Ludwig, trap stand or console, but the good feature about it is that the unusual feature is this drop down bar right here. boom, boom, boom. See, and it's got the small, just a piece of wood to connect different things to, a triangle, whatever you want. I showed this a long time ago in a Chromie video of mine, but Tim's now got it, and look what he's added to it to complete the ensemble.
I completed it with the gong holder, and I took the picture from the catalog, which was right here.
Look at this.
So here it is, and this is what it had. And so, Jim, you had all of this. You had the stand, the
That's
legs,
right.
the two tom holders, but you didn't have any of the any of the uprights.
Correct.
So I basically had those made. I made them actually out of original parts. Original parts. You can just put it all together. Ludwig was like a erector set back then. You kind of just bought pieces and parts and you made your own stuff up. You know.
Yeah. This is what I like, how he finds the catalog shot of this rare item that I had set up and everything. Here, that was what Ralph Smith.
That was Jack Peacock's.
Okay.
We'll come back to him. But anyway, here it is all outfitted.
All
so
right.
that was the picture of it bare. Here it is all outfitted with the Chinese toms, with a Black Beauty snare drum, with 2 wood blocks, a cowbell rig, miscellaneous cymbals, China cymbals, a sizzle cymbal, and then all of your traps that you would have put on that trap
Here
table.
are the
Some
back of the
whistles,
box.
back of the box, Frank Wolf cymbals. And guess what, folks? You can come into the museum, sit down, and play this kit. That's the beauty. Sit right down and play it.
I wouldn't even let anybody touch my stuff. Never a peep out of this drum room, I'll tell you. But Tim, he's let celebrities have come in and played
Sure.
stuff, right?
Yeah, anybody. Yeah, any drummer that wants to come, even if you're not a drummer, you just want to hear what they sound like. They sound great.
How can they get a hold of you, Tim, if they want to make an... Now, you have to do this by appointment, okay?
So you go to northupdrums.com, and on there, all my information, the address and where we are. We're in upstate New York, near Cooperstown in Oneonta. And my phone number is 607-434-4769. Just call, make an appointment, message me on Instagram or Facebook Messenger, and just check out my availability. And we give tours. We can give a virtual tour if you can't get to the museum. Call me up. We'll do a Zoom tour. Show you anything you want.
It's a real percussion porn experience.
So
All right.
let's talk about some of the stuff on this kit.
A rare.
Okay, so I set this up a couple different ways. So this one I set up because I wrote an article for Modern Drummer magazine about this kit, and I think it was featured in November. We'll give you the exact credentials so you can go back and take a look at that. But I set it up. I'll just pan back a couple pictures because we started talking about him. This guy right here. This is Jack Peacock Kelly. Jack Peacock Kelly was a Chicago drummer in the 1920s, 30s, one of the highest paid drummers in the country at that time. He happened to outfit himself with this moose head, and it's the only photo we have that we know of an original moose head. It's not even a cataloged head. Like, it never made the catalog as far as the catalog.
I've never seen one.
Right. So it's an actual head because he had it on his kit with these solo blocks.
Here they are right there.
Now he's got 4. I only have 3. And they're a little hard to find, right, Jim?
Oh, yes.
So
in my whole collecting experience, 20, 30 years, never run across them.
right. So here's a great shot of those solo blocks.
Yeah.
So those were Ludwig's solution or version of tempo blocks. Usually they'd have 5 tempo blocks. They came out with these solo blocks. They're wooden, and they actually sound louder than tempo blocks, but they didn't really catch on. They were more expensive, and guys don't like to change. They like their tempo blocks, so they didn't catch on, so they're very rare. Almost none exist that I know
We
of.
had some video of you actually playing
We did.
these, and their tone is different than
Yeah.
the Oriental temple blocks that we see usually. But just incredible find. Love seeing my trap stand displayed this way. Tim, you take some great photography. In here we've got a snowshoe pedal.
Ludwig engraved Black Beauty from 1929, 1930. Yeah,
One of several.
a cymbal tree with all kinds of. We got a sizzle cymbal, the Ludwig sizzle cymbal, a Chinese cymbal.
Here's that one we were talking about.
We'll go back. We got a better shot of that.
Here it
I
is.
think. Right there. That guy right there.
Here it
With
is.
a pointer on it.
Now, we want to give credit to Nick White,
Yes.
who collects
Sound effects.
sound effects,
Yes.
of which you have many, but
The king.
that's what he collects.
Yes.
But he really plays this cymbal the way it's supposed to be played. I used to just hit it, psh, very short, you know. He's doing all the technique.
You
with
hold
it.
a stick under it, and you basically let the sizzles sound, and you can make it sound like a hi-hat. It was an early form of a hi-hat.
Kind of like the Buddy Rich hi-hat technique,
yeah,
right?
the Buddy Rich trick.
Or whoever
Right.
invented that.
Right.
Great.
Yep.
Fabulous.
That's a great driver's seat. I like to do driver's seat pictures of what the kit looks like from sitting where you're going to play it.
You could be right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the gong. I still can't believe that this trap table or this trap stand came with the rings that you see in the catalog shot. Amazing.
Yeah, both were there, and they hold 2 Chinese toms, and you can swing them in and out, so they fit. And then there's a hi-hat. This is actually a hi-hat right here that's mounted to the table.
Here, right here.
2 cup cymbals together, and you play them with your fingers. I like to collect that kind of stuff, early hi-hat things.
It's funny when you see a trap stand like this or a setup like this, and mentioning these closed hi-hats, that exists today.
Sure.
When you see guys with the closed hi-hats,
Yeah.
and, Dave Weckel's setup, I think he was
Right.
one of the ones who first started using a remote hi-hat
Yes.
that was just in the closed position.
Yep.
It developed a whole new style of playing with that all over the place. Well, here, everybody thinks that's a very contemporary thing. No, I don't think so. These stands like this and consoles that you will see more of as we go along in the tour with the Northup Museum, you're going to see the precursors, basically, to modern drum racks.
I even have an arched one.
Yes.
That was Ludwig and Ludwig. Same time period, but it's an arched drum rail, and that separate from the drum, and you could mount all your stuff to that.
Now, I also wanted to tell you folks, Tim gave you his information. If you have any questions about what you see in these pictures here and what we're talking about, or anything to add to them, feel free to contact Tim, and just you can text him or whatever, and get in on it. Add to the conversation. We're glad to have you. What do we got, Tim? There's the moose again. My extremely rare moose
see what
head.
else.
This is a fantastic.
All
What a
right,
shot!
Let's go back. You got to pull up some more pictures. Let's go with this guy right here.
Here's another extremely rare one with the. Again, Tim. Now you've
You
got
recognize
just
this
about
one?
everything, but what you do concentrate on and really gravitate towards are the heads themselves. These factory painted heads,
Yes.
of which this is the.
This is the Leedy Butterfly Girl, and it's on a white marine pearl drum, and she lights up. And when she lights up, and somewhere I have a video of that, and we can post that. When you light this up, there's 2 different bulbs in there that go, and it makes it look like her wings are fluttering.
I mean, and it's in really great shape.
Yeah.
Again, good old Jim Messina gets to get in here once again. This is the Leedy trap console. Tim ended up with it, and I just love this because I had it displayed with a Leedy Swingaroo set, okay? It wasn't in the greatest shape. It had the similar bottoms to this, but they were, coming apart and everything. He's got this displayed beautifully, and his photography's great. Plus, I want you to notice something. Oh! Tell us about this.
So over here is a Wahlberg and Auger double hi-hat, which are extremely rare. And we'll do a whole segment on that with the foot cymbals, hand cymbals, but it's 2 hi-hats put together. So you have 2 different choices of cup cymbals and regular hi-hat cymbals. This whole set is about mid 1930s, and we've got transition toms here. We've got tack bottoms with tunable tops. Same with the floor tom, tack bottom, tunable tops with the timpani type lugs. We've got a wonderful 8x14 Leedy broadcaster, Broadway snare drum.
I bet that sounds just great.
Well, you can hear it because my good friend Steve Smith recorded this set. He happened to do a recording of.
Someday you'll see that, but we can't show that to you now.
Yes.
But this is incredible, and it's a cataloged piece.
It is.
And I think you have the catalog.
I do.
Somewhere.
Yeah, it's in like 1940. So this set, we do transition from like 1935 to 1940 on this kit. Still have the trap table, still have the temple blocks, but we're transitioning into more modern toms, not the Chinese toms on this set.
Okay, we're moving right along.
Moving forward.
But this just fantastic display. These are the kind of things you're going to see at the Northup
Let's go
Drum
back.
Museum.
Oh, that was actually. Here's a picture of the driver's seat. That's what you're going to see sitting behind it.
There you'll be, right there.
Yep, and you can sit. You can play this kit.
And
Absolutely,
notice,
come and play it.
Calf heads. He doesn't fool around. Everything is how it's supposed to be.
And everything also has vintage drumsticks made by the company that goes with each drum. So if it's a Leedy kit, you get Leedy drumsticks from the period with it and brushes. So, yeah.
Would you call that obsession, folks? I don't know. I just, to your credit, Tim, you really do it upright. Well, who's this stranger here? You a cousin of yours or what?
No, that's Steve Smith. He likes to visit the museum and play these old drums and record them. So he had some fun on this kit one day. We had a lot of fun.
Notice how he's got the information right here. Look, this is a page out of which catalog?
That's the Leedy catalog, and that shows the actual catalog page. This drum head would have been $15 in addition to your drum kit, added to your kit when you bought it. Yep.
Now, where did you get this butterfly girl?
My good friend, wood and weather drum shot, Joe Bartlett.
Oh! Yeah. You know, we're planning on having Joe on because really I call him a newcomer, but he's not really. And even Tim, I call him a newcomer. But actually what they are is basically the new breed that's becoming visible on the internet, okay? In my day, when I first started out, it was, Bunny Carlos, Mike Corrado, Joe Lawoma, Dave Brown, Mark Cooper, those people there, we featured them a lot. But now comes these new guys, and I hope I had something to do with their knowledge, their interest, because they are very enthusiastic, and Joe Bartlett, with his wooden weather shop, he's there. I mean, he's up there with Tim. They're good buddies, and he's got some very interesting pieces we're going to be presenting him in the future, along with some other, what I call the new regime. Okay? Now, speaking of old guys, not that you're old, Steve, but the old regime, here's Steve Smith. Look at that. Playing on my console. Ha! My temple blocks, I believe.
Yes.
See, I still call these things mine, but they're not. They belong to Tim. They're in good hands.
But you get to see them and visit them.
Yes, that's what's great about it.
Yeah.
It's like I still have them. It's great.
Right.
Except he takes even better care of them than I do.
Well, you know what? We actually play them. He never played any of his stuff.
No.
Wouldn't let anybody play it. We play it.
Now, just for the heck of it, you notice in the background, just happens to be a top hat set. Oh, look over here and just off to the side.
Let's go to that one next to Peacock. Let's talk about our Peacock curls.
A beautiful Peacock pearl snare drum here.
Well, I have the whole set for that, Jim. Let's take a look.
Of course you do.
So,
look at that. Oh.
So I wanted a Peacock pearl set for years and years and years, but I never could find one that was in condition that I liked. And
I was just glad to find things. He, I'll turn that down. He's turned me down on some of my stuff. No, the condition is not.
Well, Peacock pearl fades to really weird colors, and Mike Corrado just did a great article about Peacock pearls and how they fade, and they're cool. It's not that I wouldn't buy a faded one, a snare drum or something, but I wanted a kit that was in mint condition, unfaded.
Well, when you're talking a museum, that's why they use the term museum quality.
If possible. I mean, some things you know, if you can't find a better example, sometimes I buy an example to have it, and then when a better one comes along, I'll put it in its place, and sometimes,
I remember Bunny Carlos saying that. I used to ask him how he goes about things, and he just said, hey, I find this, and then I find one in better condition. He trades up.
Right. So the Millstream head that's on it is original, factory head that was painted from 1929 to 1940. That's just the catalog image. Here's the catalog page.
I love this.
Right here, and I will so $142 complete, and we'll go and we'll see if I have the picture here. Let me just go forward.
It's so cool the way he copies the catalog illustration.
Yeah, we'll see that.
Just beautiful.
There's the catalog page come to life. So I like to take the catalog page and make the catalog page come to life. So there it is.
It even includes what?
Tambourine, castanets.
That's
a Ludwig. That's a copy of the Ludwig catalog. I don't really collect catalogs, so I don't.
Correct beater. Note the beater.
Yeah, everything is, and it actually has the correct symbol that it would have had, and the Chinese tom, and everything is marked Ludwig. Even the castanets, the tambourine, everything. This is another version of it here that I did for the Modern Drummer piece. I wrote, so this was also featured. Did I write about? I wrote about this one for Modern Drummer magazine, and that I think came out in January. Yep. Here's an overview shot of it. There's the snare drum.
Now check this out, folks. From where I'm sitting, it's really, really clear on this monitor. But this is a beautiful run of peacock pearl. Not too much fade here.
Oh, really I actually took the heads off. These are original calf heads. They're signed Ludwig. I pulled the heads to see how much fade there really was. That's how you can tell. None.
None.
Ah! None. So this drum set had to live in a basement its whole life and have no light.
Now, this kind of ties in with Mike Corrado's latest Peacock Pearl entry. He sent it to me, and I'll show you that, where he talks about, he kind of alludes to certain runs of material, laminate, finish, the Pearlin.
Right.
And as you can see, this is you can tell it's a particular run, and I'll bet there's guys out there that can tell you, oh, I know which run that is. I have two drums from the same run, and then these two are from a different run. But
yeah, because there's Peacock 1 and Peacock 2, I guess.
Yeah, he talks about that.
I still haven't gotten that
They're
straight.
very different.
Yeah, they are.
One, he kind of alludes, it's more like this. They kind of refer to it as, rainbow pearl. But
yes.
The one that I had was in the rainbow category.
There.
Just beautiful.
There's a good image of it.
There are some other examples of these from the show. If you go back to, I don't know if it was 2014 or 15, it's when I did the presentation of the Piano Black Dual. Well, that same guy had a peacock pearl bass drum that I had Mark Cooper comment on. He said, this is probably the best, most vivid example of peacock pearl that I ever saw. And it went to Joe Meckler. Of course, we'll be talking to Joe in the future. He runs the Delaware show.
Coming up
soon.
In the February.
Check it out. If you can make the Delaware show, I'm sure Joe would be glad to have you. Mm-hmm. Joe, we're looking forward to having you on the show, okay? So in the future. But
one more thing I want to mention about this kit. You see this very rare cymbal holder, this double? You don't see these very often.
I got one from Mike Corrado a long time ago. But they're very rare. They're very simple.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, it's just that it was an upgraded thing that Ludwig had. I added a couple things to this kit. It didn't come with everything, but this Chinese tom has the Ludwig tag
I see
on
it. I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Even the tambourine, like I said, everything does. And then we've got another Chinese tom, a low boy. We love our low
skeleton.
boys.
Okay.
Skeleton pedal. That's Walberg and Auger, but Ludwig. It's got Ludwig cymbals, so it was sold by Ludwig. A Grieco cymbal. a Ludwig Greco cymbal. Yeah.
Now, what I notice about this, and here's me saying, oh, I got one from Mike Corrado, except mine was, of course, less rare than this one. This one is a double one. Mine was single. You have 1, 2 rods coming up.
Yeah, this is a very unique model.
Oh, just
Very
I'm
unique
telling
model.
you, this is what kills me about you, Tim. Not only do you have rare items, but you just have super, as our friend Randy in Fort Myers would say, Randy Nordland, unobtainium. He has a
right.
lot of unobtainium
Yes.
at the museum. Another shot.
I like these bell. Sometimes they're 4, sometimes they're 3, but nest of bells with a squawker with the squawker holder, which everybody's going crazy over squawkers and squawker holders because they're so hard to find.
You should hear I don't know if you've ever heard
Well,
one.
Randy has one.
What's that?
Randy has one.
I know. In fact, now I'm not sure if this is going to happen, folks, but now that Tim is here in the flesh, we may go to Fort Myers, Florida to visit Randy Nordland of Trixon fame, Mr.
Yes.
Trixon I call him, but he's got one of these squawkers and he also has some sound effects
He
that
does.
we might show
Yes.
you, okay?
Yeah.
So it's really great. This whole peacock set is phenomenal, and you're going to see more stuff like this at the Northup Drum Museum. We're going to continue. This is it for now. Jim Messina with VintageDrumsTalk.com, sitting in here with Tim Northup of the Northup Drums Museum. We'll be right back for another installment. Tim,
Great to
great.
be here.